September 1916. I'll never forget the night my mother told me about when she first laid eyes on my daddy. She was at a get-acquainted party for the new teachers in Jayton. Mother had just arrived in town to teach music at the school, and she was trying her best to remember everyone's names, when she noticed a handsome young man standing near the door. And just for a moment, their eyes met. He was Tom Fowler. Before the evening was over, he had walked across the room, smiled at her, and said, "I'm Tom, and I already know your name, Gertrude Jenkins. That's a very pretty name for a very pretty girl." Mother always said her heart skipped just a little. When he found out she played piano, he insisted she play for everyone that very night. And when she did, the whole room gathered around. Classical music first, and then ragtime that had everyone tapping their feet. Daddy decided right then and there he wasn't going to let another fellow ask her out first. And he didn't. From that Saturday on, he came calling every weekend. There were rules in those days. School teachers could only date on weekends, and Daddy thought that was about the silliest rule he'd ever heard. They rode around in his Model T. She played piano while he accompanied her on trumpet, and before long, everyone in Jayton understood that Tom Fowler belonged to Gertrude Jenkins. Now, Mother was brave about many things, but horses were not one of them. One afternoon, Daddy convinced her to go horseback riding. She climbed into that saddle in her long dress, pretending not to be afraid, until they came to the tiniest little ditch. She stopped cold. While the other horses crossed without a thought, Mother climbed down, led her horse around the ditch, and only then got back on. Daddy never asked her to go riding again, and she was perfectly happy about that. But life wasn't all laughter and little ditches. In April of 1917, the United States entered World War I. Suddenly, the future felt uncertain. So instead of waiting a year, they were married on July 16, 1917, in the church in Comanche where Mother had first given her heart to the Lord. Back in Jayton, not long after, Daddy was called to serve. Mother went home to Comanche to wait. She kept teaching music. She played piano at church. She trusted God. But oh, how she missed him. Then one cold day in January of 1919, he came home. Together again. That winter, they made a trip to visit family in Roswell, New Mexico, bundling blankets into their Model T because cars didn't have heaters back then. On the way home, a terrible winter storm set in. The radiator froze overnight. A man with a blowtorch had to thaw the engine. Snow fell harder. The wind cut through the isinglass curtains. Mother's feet grew so cold they turned numb. By the time they reached home, her heels were frostbitten. For years afterward, her feet reminded her of that journey. But that spring, something wonderful happened. Mother discovered she was going to have a baby. Suddenly, frostbite didn't matter. On December 21st, 1919, Peggy Louise Fowler was born, the most beautiful Christmas gift Mother and Daddy could ever imagine. And just like that, they weren't just Tom and Gertrude anymore. They were a family. And in God's perfect timing, a new chapter of life had begun. Even when the road was cold, even when the future felt uncertain, even when frostbite and fear tried to steal their joy, the Lord was quietly writing a greater story. Through laughter, through war, through winter storms and waiting seasons, He was building something steady, a marriage, a family, a legacy. And sometimes when I think about those early days, I'm reminded that the same God who carried them still carries us now.